Boop, what you doing, Boop? Don't tell me. I bet you're drowning our lawn, Boop. Yay! But keep up the good work, Boop. You're a real buddy, Boop. Hey, what's with you, Boop?
After all, how long can a guy stand being called Boo?
We all grew up watching cartoons that made us laugh. But what if one of them wasn't meant to be seen? This isn't just a scary story. It's based on a strange document discovered in the abandoned home of a former Boomerang employee. What he found in a lost Yogi Bear episode was so disturbing, he tried to erase it from existence. But some things don't like being forgotten. Henry Gaunt was once a respected animator and technician at the Boomerang Broadcast Company. From 1978 to his quiet retirement in 1996, he spent nearly 2 decades immersed in the world of classic cartoons, editing reels, restoring old tapes, and sometimes archiving episodes that never saw the light of day. Now 72 years old, Henry lived alone in a small house on the outskirts of Macon, Georgia. His hair had turned gray, his back was hunched, and his eyes, once bright with nostalgia, were heavy with time. In the fall of 2023, he stumbled upon a sealed, unmarked VHS tape, buried deep in a dusty box of his old memorabilia. The label, written in faded pen, read only, YB ST 1988. Curious, Henry dusted off his old VHS player and inserted the tape. A familiar flicker of static filled the screen. Then a title card faded in with eerie silence. The New Yogi Bear Show. Lost episode, Statue Trouble. There was no intro music, no cheerful jingle, just silence. And then the image faded in. Yogi, Boo Boo, and Cindy Bear walking through Jellystone Park on a foggy, color-muted afternoon. The colors were dull and almost gray-washed, a far cry from the usual bright palette. Yogi stumbled upon an old picnic basket abandoned near the banks of a black, still lake. Unlike any other basket, this one had a strange symbol burned into the side, something like a warped smiley face with too many teeth. Hey, hey, hey! What do we have here? Yogi said, though his voice was off, slightly deeper, almost human. Boo Boo hesitated. Yogi, maybe we shouldn't touch it. It doesn't look right. But Yogi laughed and opened it anyway. The moment they did, the screen glitched, just for a moment, and then the characters froze. The animation stopped, replaced by still images that began to morph. The bear's fur lost all saturation, turning into a plastic-like texture. Their eyes grew dull. Boo Boo's mouth was slightly ajar, showing stiff, fake teeth. Yogi's right eye began to bleed a thick black ichor, and Cindy Bear's face cracked open on the left side, like shattered porcelain. Suddenly, they moved again, but jerkily. Their animation was now broken, like stop motion filmed on a cheap camera. The background music was gone. All that played was a distorted hum. Cut to Ranger Smith's cabin. Smith was writing in his logbook. Ruby-Doo was seen outside feeding some ducks. Suddenly the door creaked open. Smith looked up. Hello? Yogi, is that you again? The lights began to flicker. The screen dimmed. Then a loud screech blared as a distorted version of Yogi's voice echoed, "Time for a picnic." Forever. The next sequence was nightmarish. Smith running through a dark forest, being chased by stiff, clicking footsteps. Boo Boo crawled with broken limbs. Cindy sang a twisted lullaby. We found a basket full of treats. Now you're the snack with tasty meats. Smith tripped. A dark figure hovered above him. Yogi, with a jagged mouth, empty eye socket dripping black sludge. Then static. Ruby-Doo didn't last much longer. The final scene was a wide shot of Jellystone Park, empty, decaying. A time card faded in. Many years later, Jellystone remains abandoned. The statues still search for their next picnic guests. Henry sat frozen in his chair, the remote shaking in his hand. The room felt colder. He ejected the tape and smashed it with a fireplace poker, then burned the pieces in his backyard. But the damage had already been done. That night, he awoke at 3 a.m. to the sound of singing. Yogi Bear is smarter than the average bear. It echoed through his hallway, bouncing off the walls. But Henry lived alone. He crept out of bed, heart pounding, and checked every room. Nothing. The next day, he spotted something outside his window. A tall, grey, fiberglass statue stood at the edge of his yard. Yogi Bear, missing his right eye. Henry blinked. It was gone. Every night after, the experiences intensified. Boo Boo's shadow would appear by his bedroom door. Cindy's broken face would reflect in the TV screen even when it was off. Scratches began appearing on the walls, always 3 claw marks. He started keeping a journal. They know I saw it. They know I destroyed the tape. But they're still coming. Jellystone may be gone, but they're not done. They need more picnics. He stopped going outside, stopped answering calls. His handwriting grew more frantic, ending with, "I hear them, singing, every night now. I'm not alone, even though I should be." On October 14th, 2023, we received a wellness check request from Mr. Henry Gaunt. Upon arrival, the front door was found ajar. No signs of forced entry. The house was cold, covered in dust, and reeked of burnt plastic. We discovered a journal detailing severe hallucinations centered around a lost episode of a cartoon program. Drawings of deformed cartoon bears were found, resembling Yogi Bear, Boo Boo, and Cindy, but all were disfigured. Missing eyes, cracked faces, razor-sharp smiles. No VHS tapes were recovered, only melted plastic and ash in the fireplace. Neighbors reported Henry had become reclusive and paranoid, often muttering about picnic monsters and yelling at windows late at night. The final journal entry read, "They're singing again. I can hear them. Even now, the theme song never ends. Please, don't watch it. Don't ever look for statue trouble. It's real. They're real. And they're hungry." Mr. Gaunt is currently classified as missing. Case remains open. Some say the tape is still out there. A corrupted file version occasionally surfaces on obscure forums, only to be taken down minutes later. Some who claim to have seen it report dreams of statues chasing them through the woods. Some hear the theme song late at night. If you ever find a picnic basket near a lake, untouched and perfect, with a strange smile burned into the side, don't open it. They're still hungry, and they're smarter than the average bear. Henry Gaunt vanished without a trace. No family, no signs of struggle, just the last pages of his journal. And a broken TV, stuck on static. Maybe the cursed picnic basket was never part of a cartoon. Maybe it's still out there, waiting for someone else to press play. Pause. Thanks for watching. If you hear the Yogi Bear theme song at 3 a.m., don't look out the window.